everyone. It's Connie and it's Precious from Precious Plushies. She just got up a little while ago and has decided that my lap is where her bed is. She does this, so I can't crochet. This she wants all the love. She does not want me crocheting or sharing my attention anywhere but on her. So I'll let her lay down here, I guess, or if she'll lay down. You think you could lay down? Get out of the wall. Thank you. That's nice of you. Today I had told you that, or I believe I've been telling you in the last couple of videos that I would share with you my first couple of markets. Since I wasn't already on YouTube at the time, I didn't take a lot. I took some pictures, but I didn't take a lot of anything because I didn't know that I was going to get on YouTube. I was too scared and I'll do it later, or I'll do it someday, or it's oversaturated. They'll never watch. All those things that keep us all back from doing what we want to do and what we should do for our businesses. So anyhow, my markets that I only did two. Like I said, I started in March, and my first one was in June, and it was at Pride in Birmingham. And I had a table that I had a 10 by 10. My first market was in June. It was in Birmingham, and it was for Pride week, and a friend of mine helped me out. Shanna, thank you very much. Had it not been for her, I don't know how I don't know how I would have gotten through the day, unloading and loading and everything. It was a very hot day. I learned a very valuable lesson at both of my markets, which is drink a lot of water, because my June and my October were both really, really hot, and I should have known better. I had a fan. We didn't get set up right away in June because they put me in the wrong place. I guess they had problems with some of their electrical plugins or whatever in the park, and they had sent me next to one that had gone out. So they made room for me, but where they made room for me was where everybody sits to watch the different singers and everybody that's on stage, which you might think is a good thing because people are going to go by your table. But no, that people barely glanced. They were getting ready to sit down, settle in, and watch the show. So it wasn't a very good day at all. I did make my table cost back, and I made a little over $100 in profit, basically, and that was about it. I just didn't know what to take. I didn't have a lot of Pride specifics. Now, the Pride specifics I did have, like a multicolored snake, and what else did I have? There was a few multicolored items that did sell. And I had a huge pink pig that was not good at all. I'm a perfectionist, but it wasn't that nice. And this guy, I kept looking it over and over and over and over. And finally he's like, I want this pig. I got to have this pig. And I'm like, cool, take it. So I did okay there. I learned some valuable lessons. Now, in October, Shanna, being the wonderful spirit that she is, she helped me again. She is a very outgoing, loving, personable woman. I just love her to death. She makes friends everywhere she goes. And I couldn't ask for a better person to help me out, because she brought people in that tent. She would go out and start playing with the plushies and get people's attention, and they come to the tent. So I appreciate her more than she'll ever know. But she helped me that day as well. And that day was fantastically outstanding. It was my best day ever. I hope it's not my best day ever moving forward, but for my first year, my first few months, I couldn't ask for a better one. I made over $1,000. And the tent space was only like, I want to say it was 125, I believe. And just, wow. And I know $1,000 is a great market. I do. I listen to all of my favorite people that do markets, and I know that. So I was outstandingly happy. I sold probably 90% of my stock in my inventory, and I've been making it, for months and months and months. So I just get to make more now. And that's what keeps me happy. That's what keeps me sane. So I have no problem with that. So that was an outstanding market. Because of that market, though, the guy who sits right next to me at work, he said he and his son went. They walked over the entire place and never saw my tent. Now there's a street, a very long street, and then there's another street that goes the other way that was very long. And there were a lot. I don't know how many, but a lot. Hundreds probably, I don't know. There was a lot of vendors. And you could walk up and down that street and not see them all. And there were places where kids could play. So they had like bouncy tents and stuff like that. And then a lot of food trucks. Probably about, I don't know, 10, 8 or 10 probably food trucks. It was huge. They had over, I think it was over 36,000 people that come through. This is a small town, so it's like that's huge. They hold it every year though on October 4th, which is everybody else's Oktoberfest, but it was done in Oxford, so they call it Oxford Fest. I'd heard about it for years. I thought about going to it just to see what they had. I just never went. I never went. And somebody said, you've got to set up there. You would do great. There's not a lot of crocheters. So that's all I had to hear. There's not a lot of crocheters. They need me. So I'm so glad I went, and I'm already getting ready for next year. So I hope this next year I will be set up for Pride again. I will be set up for Oxford Fest. And I think I'll be able to get into the Renaissance Fair that I was late to. It's later in October. I was late signing up to it this time. And I would love to have one in like April, May, some, around Easter time. Right now, though, I'm not hearing about anything, but I'm scouring Facebook and every place else just to see if I can find one. I would love to be able to go to some of the schools and things like that I hear other makers going to, because it seems like it'd be a great place, but that's okay. It'll come, I'm sure. I can't rush it. So today, I have some things to show you as well, but because of Oxford Fest specifically, and my neighbor telling me he didn't see me, I had also posted a lot. Like, if you're not at the Oxford Fest, then you're missing out. I would show pictures of the market and everything. However, the odd thing is that another girl contacted me. She said, Connie, I didn't see you there. And I was there. And I said, yeah, you're not the first or the only one. And she said, that's really weird, because she says, I didn't know you did all this. And I would love it if you could make, she asked if I took special orders. And I said, yeah, I do. Made to orders, special orders, I do that. And she said she wanted made of her dog. Now, I've made a cat specifically in June specifically for June, for a girl that found I just made little small cats at that time, and she fell in love with one. She goes, I'm getting this just because it looks like my cat. And the funny thing about it is, it's a black cat with a white splotch. It is a splotch on the face. I was trying to make a nose and mouth and all that, and it's a splotch. It doesn't look good at all. And she brought out her phone and showed me a picture of her cat, her black cat with a white splotch on its face. Talk about, I'm telling you, I'm blessed. I manifest stuff and things like that, but I'm blessed because that's not something that I would ever see happening. So she bought that cat just because it looked just like hers. And then when I went into Oxford Fest, I had a bigger cat that was a calico. And I remember when I was making it, I did one ear one color, one ear another color, and then put a little bit of markings on it in other places. I wasn't really good at color changing yet, so I thought, well, I'll do my best. So I didn't put a lot of spots and stuff on it. And a young lady came to my tent, and she exclaimed, oh my gosh, and she saw that calico. I've got to get that. That's just like my cat. She brought up a picture, and I'll be darned if that also was something that looked just like her cat. So that's what I mean by blessed. How do you make a calico cat with different colored ears and a black cat with a accidental white splotch, and just so happens those people come to your market and buy that cat because of that? It is amazing. So when that friend asked me, I said, well, yeah, send me a picture. I'll see what I can do. And I was able to find, it's what's it called? It's a hot dog, wiener dog, Dotson. And they are easy to make, but I wanted it to be more than just a wiener dog. I wanted it to be something better. I made a wiener dog for Oxford Fest, actually sold at Oxford Fest. There was a lady walking around with her Dotson that had a costume on for Halloween, I guess. It was awful early, but she dressed it up for Halloween in a hot dog bun with lettuce and, you know, different things on it. I had made a wiener dog with the bun and all that, and they bought it because of that. It looked just like their dog. So again, another one of those, wow, blessed. So I got her dog's Franny, and she said, I just want something for when she does pass. I have something in remembrance of her. So she had mentioned that it's a black dog, which is rare. Usually they're brown, but it was a black dog and it had some brown spots on it, and she mentioned them. So I thought I got to remember to make sure that's what she remembers from the dog. I want to make sure those are on there. So I did, and I found the perfect pattern, and it was a lovey, which is without stuffing, usually for like babies and stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't want it to be a lovey. I want it to be a dog. So all I did was I added legs and stuffing, and I took it from a lovey to a stuffed animal, and she really loved it, and I do too. I think it's adorable, and I want to make some more of it because it's such an adorable looking dog. It's just really cool for some Dachshunds. So many things I want to make in such little time. So that's one of my special orders. My other special order was, and I'm sorry, that was done with black, and I'm not sure of the brown. I can't remember what brown, but I've got some pictures that you'll see. I use Parfait Chunky for a lot of these. Another one of my friends wanted me to make her 2 Great Danes, which are beautiful dogs, large, big dogs, beautiful. And I said, I'll do it. And there's just no patterns out there for Great Danes. I looked everywhere. I looked for a long time, and I looked everywhere I could think of. I could not find but maybe 1 or 2. And one was a statuesque, I'll say, dog that sat up, and it was just, the pattern was complicated, and it wasn't that great. So I thought, well, I've got to find another one. So I went looking, and I found one that was more of a plushie, which is what I wanted to do, a plush style, I should say. And I found it on Etsy, and it ended up, I showed it to the customer, my friend, and she loved it. She goes, yes, I like that a lot. So that's what I did. Now, for a lot of for the other dog, I use Parfait, just Chunky. I'm sorry, Parfait Chunky. For these, I had to use something bigger. I used a Barnett yarn for it, but even that turned out, it was just a puny little thing, and it didn't look right. It was just not good. So I thought, what am I going to use? How am I going to make this better? Hi, hello, baby. Precious. And I ended up with XL. I ended up using Parfait XL, and it's beautiful, it's big, and it worked out perfect. So I used the teddy bear and the chocolate, and that's how I was able to come up with the colors for the tan dog. So I did ship those off to her. She loved them. I sent pictures first to make sure she liked them, and she did. So I sent those off, and I'm just so happy that she's happy with them. So thank you, Robin, for supporting my small business. And I do enjoy it. I'm too much of a perfectionist, and it took me a long time to make the dog and be happy with it, and not have to think about everything and how I'm going to do it, and oh, that doesn't look good enough and all that. So I'm sure that's something we all have. But I'm just new at this. I started later in life doing what I found out that I love, and I'm having a great time at it, but I need to stop being so hard on myself and just say, you know what, you did it, it's good. If it's not good, then you won't sell it. So those were my 2 big orders that I did, special orders, and I would do more. I mean, it made me feel like I can do more if I need to, or if anybody wants them. Not need to, I want to, but if anybody asks for them. So that is my 2 markets. One, I hope it's the worst I ever have, and I'm going to be prepped for the next one. I think I'll have better items, more of what people would want to buy, and smaller items. And then I'll also be ready for Oxford Fest. And then when I get to go, I know that one more would be at the Renaissance Fair later in October. Woo, that's going to be so much fun, because I'm going to be able to make all the dragons and sprites and all the little things. I love those type of things. I didn't know I did, but I do. I love dragons. So that's what I'm going to make for that for that fair. So I wanted to share a few of my makes with you, not new ones, because I've been working on, the reason I started this video when I did is because I was working on my first pattern ever that I'm going to have some testers test for me and get back to me. Then I'll be selling in the Etsy shop. It's my very first pattern, and of course, it's got to be perfect, and it was irritating me because it wasn't looking like I wanted it to look. So had to start over and keep frogging it, starting over and frogging it. So I said I'm going to do my video because this is getting on my last nerve, and this isn't supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be pleasurable. So I'm going to show you some of the plushies that I already have, one of them being probably one of my top 5 favorites. So excuse me, my dear. So I like to make animals. I like to make cats and dogs and cows and any animals. I mean, I love all the animals. I do. But the regular pets I do love the most. And so I made this dog. See if you can see my nice little dog. He's got his little ticket on him and everything, his tag on him. Yes, Precious. She's like, I want to smell and lick the dog. You can't lick the dog. But I think this is a very cute little dog. He is so adorable. Now, he is made out of parfait, chunky, parfait, chunky, and teddy bear color. Can you see him okay? I like it because you can see the definition in the hind legs. And he's just sitting there, and he's just looking so sweet. And my little Precious would like to lick him, and I'm not going to let her lick my dog. So that's one of my dogs that I made that I really do like. I found a horse pattern because I love horses, and I thought, well, I'm gonna make a horse. And I found quite a few of them, and some of them are kind of expensive. Some of them are not all that, weren't what I wanted. You know when you see it, if you want it or not. Unfortunately, there's a lot of patterns out there that I see and I love. Oh Lord, and I buy, and it's ridiculous. It really is. I've got so many patterns, it's not even funny, but I bought a pattern and I started making it, and I took some pictures and asked some friends. I'm like, does this look like a horse to you? They're like, no. And everybody told me the different things that it looked like. And I said, I think it looks like a deer. So I took this horse pattern. And by the way, I'm sorry, that dog, the pattern was from sooo. I think is, I'll put it up here. I can't remember if I've got two. One's sooo. I believe the dog was sooo. But this is the horse that I said, no, it's not a horse. I said, I think it looks like a baby deer. So what I did was I added some spots to the back, and I gave it a little, white-tailed deer. So I added the white tail. I put on that, and I just changed the ears up a bit because they didn't look like horse ears. I think it was the ears that was putting everybody off, and I think it looks like a little. So out of that, I also made a donkey. Different ears, of course, but I used the same pattern, and I made it a donkey. And then I thought, you know what? It's a horse. I got to make a horse. So I tried it again, and this time, this is my favorite. Oh, it's one of my favorites. And I do have it priced a little high, and that's why it's probably not going to sell. And that's why I priced it high, is because I like it, and I might end up keeping it. But I don't need it. I need like a hole in my head. But here is my horse. So see, I got the ears better. I also made sure I gave it a really nice mane. I love this mane. And got some bangs going on with the baby. And then also the tail. I love that tail. And it's so easy. It's so easy. Again, teddy bear and chocolate from Parfait Chunky. And I think it looks great. I'm in love with it. I really am. I just love her so much. So that's my little horse. So I got what I wanted. And I like the fact they have a little bit of a neck. Each of them had, it's got a neck in the pattern, and I like it. I did have to contact the seller on Etsy and ask them a few questions, and they answered them real quickly. So they're really, really, really good as well. So I've got that. I just wanted to share those with you because those are some of my favorites that I have done. And I knew I'm probably not going to do any more, at least not until these sell. So I want to make sure so they don't go through their forever home and I don't ever get to share them with you. So I will end this video like I have my other ones and tell you to switch it. If you've got negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative self-talk, which I know is that's what we all do. We all do negative self-talk. We need to change it to positive. And that's what's going to get us to going, get us to do what we want to do. I never would have started YouTube if I wouldn't have changed my whole inner dialogue. So yeah, switch it. Take it from the negative, make it the positive. Be kind to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please come back again for my next video and join me on my journey, and subscribe. Leave me a comment so I know what you want to see. And thank you again. Bye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.